What made you say yes? I'm gonna tackle this. I'm gonna take this on.
Ignorance.
Hello, I'm Richard Ridge for Broadway World. Emmy Award winner Sarah Snook will be making her Broadway debut, reprising her Olivier Award-winning performance of Oscar Wilde's The Picture of Dorian Gray. She takes on 26 roles in Kip Williams' groundbreaking production, and I caught up with both of them here at the legendary Algonquin Hotel. Well, the two of you are about to make your Broadway debuts. What does it mean to, now that you're here in New York, the Music Box, you're going to be going there, but Broadway debut, what it means to each of you?
It's incredible. It's not something that it's something you always dream of, and then you hope maybe could happen someday, somehow, but not know when. So to be doing this with an Australian production, and doing it, post a West End run that was successful and acclaimed, that it feels like a really quite an amazing expansion into something that feels like it only ever existed in fantasy or dream. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible. It's the biggest thrill, I mean, some of my favorite theatre in the world has happened as an audience member coming to see shows on Broadway, and it's the most incredible theatre community. So to have been invited to the Music Box and to share it with New York audiences is just a dream come true. It's incredible.
What made you say yes? I'm gonna tackle this. I'm gonna take this on.
Ignorance. I mean, couldn't say no. There was no option to say no in terms of where my heart and soul sat in regards to wanting to be able to explore multiple different characters in the same piece, both male and female, be on stage. Again, I hadn't done that for a while, and work with Kip. All of it was so seductive that I had to say yes. Yeah.
What's it been like collaborating together on this?
It's been for me, it's been so much fun.
Yeah.
I mean, my mind is constantly blown in rehearsals with Sarah because this piece is like an Everest of sorts for a performer, and the speed with which you can process and execute the most complex of ideas and choreography, it's quite mind-blowing. So it's been incredible.
Yeah, it's I mean, we did a run the other day that went for an hour and 50, so managed to somehow shave 5 minutes off for speaking too fast, which at the beginning of this journey, if you had said that I would be able to speak faster than the actual text, I would not have believed you. But Kip was like, "No, you will get faster. You will." It's been incredible to work together on this, always feeling supported and feeling like there's always you can stretch and you can try and you can fail, because you'll always be caught by somebody who's looking out for you and has the whole piece and your care in mind as well.
You take on 26 roles in this show. Which ones came easier for you? Which ones were harder to find, if you don't mind me asking?
No, of course. I just was asked this question before, and Lord Henry was my answer that is one of the easiest roles. It came quickly, but I just remembered how Mrs. Leaf, I played an old decrepit lady, sweet blessed cherub she is, old Mrs. Leaf, who's I think she's probably about 80 at the beginning of the play, so by the end of the play she's definitely 140 or older. She was my favourite, I think, to play, and maybe the easiest to jump into, which is such a strange thing to think that older women and predatory men are my slip lane.
There's a stage work, there's beautiful camera work in this show. I know you're used to cameras and everything else, but what was it like rehearsing all of this and fine-tuning it as an actress?
Yeah, wild, with absolute pun intended as well. There are so many marks on the floor, so many camera angles, the specificity within which Kip requires your chin to be turned, your head to be turned, it's millimetre precision, which... in the first instances, it's like, oh, what? Don't box me in, mate. But then you find, I love it, because the strange kind of, and maybe all actors have this, a willingness or a desire to impress the teacher, to get it right, a perfectionism that exists, and then finding, the expansion inside that, where I can push the boundaries, where I can invent. There's a couple characters that are slightly different every night, that don't have any pre-record attachments, so I can develop and evolve and change, and also just like keep mining, keep discovering, keep choosing and finding new ways to tell the same story, which is, again, testament to the writing and also to Kit.
The look you have in this show is amazing. The first time you saw yourself all done up with the outfit, the hair, the makeup, and everything else, what went through your mind? What were you thinking?
Cool. I like it. I love the wigs. They're so fun. The kind of the rockabilly high hairstyle one, the white one with the we call it the Met Gala kind of flowers and the white blazer. It's so much fun. It's really, you talk about putting a pair of shoes and costume on to give you a character. That gives you a character.
So many young people have come to see this show. They went to the West End. I have so many people. My nieces and nephews are all like, that's one of the one sets of tickets. They said, we're going to see Dorian Gray. We're going to see Dorian Gray. Because of your success on Succession, we all remember the first time we saw someone on TV or on film. We went to the theater and like, oh my God, we're seeing these people do this live. Mm-hmm. Bringing a whole new audience, a young audience to the theater, what it means to you.
It's so exciting. Being at Stage Door last season in West End was so special because there were so many young people who either had seen theatre for the first time or, there was a couple of people who came multiple times and like, spend your money on other things, like, you got to eat. But I guess that's it's something in our souls that we want to have a story told to us that makes us feel seen and makes us feel alive and energized. And this play, fortunately, really did that. And it means a lot to have a young audience be able to come and see the show.